Welcome to First Page Fridays. I'm April Dávila for Sit Right Here, and today we're going to look at somebody's first page. Thank you to those of you who have sent in your pages. This only works if you're willing to work with me. So today we're going to look at somebody's first page. It's usually a novel. I haven't read it yet. We'll start at the top and read it through the way an agent or an editor at a publishing house might look at it. And then we'll jump back up to the top and I'll edit it as if I was working on a client's manuscript, show you what my thoughts are, where the opportunities are to improve on that first page. First page is so important. It just has to do so much work. It's a real work of art, a good first page. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you would like to send in your first page, check out the link below in the show notes. You can send it in, we'll put it in the queue, and we'll get to yours as soon as we can. All right, I'm going to shrink myself down here, move me to the corner. And I always like to note, I do my best in terms of pronunciation. We do have a title. It's called Halcyon. She has never worn patience well, least of all tonight, waiting for that cursed scribe to deliver the book. Soured wine and sweat cloy the air, and the heavy wool of her cloak chafes at her skin. A hush slides across the room for a heartbeat before the tavern heaves again, and panic prickles beneath her fraying temper. From the darkest corner of the room, her view of the entrance is obscured by a crowd of masked revelers. Their laughter too loud and close. Above her, the soot-blackened beams writhe in the flicker of the tallow candle guttering at her elbow. Every faceless mask seems to tilt toward her, and she pulls her cloak tighter to conceal the gold brocade gleaming underneath, lowering the hood over her famous face. Finally, the scribe slinks into the seat opposite, his velvet cap askew. He grins, shaking his damp hair loose, like a hound emerging from the canal, and she suppresses a shudder when a droplet hits her. Her sharp nails click against the pitted wood, each tapping a warning. "You're late. Where's the manuscript?" With a wink, he pats something under the table, speaking in a Greek accent thickened by drink. "Buy me some wine first." His foot jiggles and a tick twitches at his cheek, letting her sense fear beneath his bravado. "You don't have it, do you?" she says, trying to keep her voice steady. "You summoned me to this wretched place on a feast day for nothing." I guess it would be for nothing. It's a question. All right, and our system tends to take out the carriage returns, so I'm going to go ahead and put these back in where they seem like they should be. All right. So my first instinct is I'm intrigued. We have a fancy woman in her gold brocade kind of hiding under a cloak in a tavern where she does not wish to be on a feast day. We don't really know what that means yet, but still it's important, clearly. So let's start back up at the top here. She has never worn patience well, least of all tonight, waiting for that cursed scribe to deliver the book. All right. She's never, there's something that's a little sticky for me in this. I'm having trouble putting my finger on it. Least of all tonight. I guess the thing is that it's kind of hard to compare when we don't know her yet. So I wonder, it might be worth rephrasing this a little, but we'll circle back to it. Soured wine and sweat cloy the air. I wonder if you need to say the scent of soured wine. I'm going to assume this is an artistic choice. Because it's not actually like wine and sweat in the air, but I get what you're saying in that it's, again, it's art, right? I don't want to over edit your piece, so I'm going to leave that because I know what you're saying. Soured wine and sweat cloy the air. Though I would, part of me wants to put in the scent of sour. I'm just going to do it. All right. The scent of soured wine and sweat cloy the air, and the heavy wool of her cloak chafes at her skin. Okay, here I got a little lost. A hush slides across the room because we haven't really seen the room yet. We've got a smell, but right now all we know is we have the she's feeling impatient. She's waiting for the scribe. There's some gross smells. She's in a heavy cloak, and then a hush slides across the room. It's hard for the reader to recognize a hush if there hasn't been noise, right? So I wonder if there is a sentence or two missing here of setting us in place at the tavern. A hush slides across the room for a heartbeat before the tavern heaves again, and panic prickles beneath her fraying temper. I'm not really sure what this means. Before the tavern heaves again. From the darkest corner of the room, her view of the entrance is obscured by a crowd of masked revelers, their laughter too loud and close. Now, we don't know why they're masked. You don't necessarily have to tell us, but there is some opportunity here to do a little world building. Like, if we learned down here, it's a feast day. So could you say a crowd of revelers masked for this feast of blah, blah, blah? A crowd of revelers masked for the evening's festivities. And I would be specific, right? Masked for the feast of so-and-so. Would like give us a little hint of what this world is. And then let's see here. From the darkest corner of the room, her view of the entrance is obscured by a crowd of revelers masked for the evening's festivities. Their laughter, I would say falls too close, too loud and close. You could break this up a little bit, maybe be more specific. I would probably put a carriage return here. Actually, no, that's not the best place to put it, because I feel like what we need is a little more of the room itself. And then it would make sense to have this be the break. So give us a little more of the place before anything changes in the place. Now I'm talking very little here, right? And why not give us her name? I'd be curious. It does give the reader something to kind of latch on to, presuming that this is a character that we're going to know through the story. And if it's not, why are you starting with her? So I'm going to assume it is. And there's no reason to hold back her name. Generally speaking, I know there are exceptions, so maybe this is one of them. But if you're introducing us to this character, go ahead and tell us her name. And I wonder, so she has never worn patience well. And then I would go here. I would say she pulls, oh, that was not, let's go with the heavy wool of her cloak chafes at her skin as she pulls it close, waiting for that cursed scribe to deliver the book. The scent of soured wine and sweat cloy the air. And then give us a sentence here about the tavern. Maybe even two, right? Choosing important details that are going to tell us about this world beyond just the tavern, but we need to be able to see this before the hush slides over the room. Then a hush slides over the room for a heartbeat before the tavern heaves again. Okay, and what is this hush? Is this someone coming in the front door? It kind of seems that way. And panic prickles beneath her fraying temper. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what you're trying to say here. So a hush slides across the room for a heartbeat as the door enters, as the sound of, and again, and if she's waiting for someone, wouldn't she sit somewhere where she could see the door? But I guess it's just someone. She probably, okay, the way I'm picturing this, she probably is seated where she can see the door, but there's a crowd of revelers who've moved into the way. Okay, so that makes sense. But why, if you're going to say a hush, and then I'm assuming the heaves is referring to like the noise growing loud again. But if you're not going to tell us why, I wonder if it's important. So my suggestion here, from the darkest corner of the room, her view of the entrance is obscured by a crowd of revelers masked for the evening festivities. But she notices when a hush slides across the room as the front door opens and closes. Oops, having issues with my typing today. And then panic prickles beneath her fraying temper. I like that line. So we put this here. Okay, but she notices when a hush slides across the room as the front door opens and closes. And then you see if it hushes and then the swell of noise again. The laughter, let's just say, laughter swells to fill, oops, I'm really having issues, swells to fill the space, too loud and close. Panic prickles beneath her fraying temper. Okay, above her. So we're still like we're talking about the room, saying her view is obscured, but she notices when a hush slides across the room. Then panic when like just these sounds are unsettling to her. Above her, the soot blackened beams writhe in the flicker of the tallow candle guttering at her elbow. Every faceless mask seems to tilt toward her. Now, are they faceless masks, or are the masks of faces? I think, because most masks are faces, just not the face of the person who's wearing it. So faceless mask, every hidden, I would either say every hidden face seems to tilt toward her, or every face hidden behind a mask tilts towards her, or just every mask seems to tilt toward her, because we've already said that there's mask for the evening's festivity. Yeah, okay. Every mask, you could say in the room, we'll see, seems to tilt toward her, and she pulls her cloak tighter. And we already said, I put that she pulls it close. She pulls her cloak tighter still. Let's acknowledge that it's an even more tight to conceal the gold brocade gleaming underneath, lowering the hood over her famous face. I mean, the gold brocade is a great detail, right? Finally, the scribe slinks into the seat opposite, his velvet cap askew. He grins, shaking his damp hair loose like a hound emerging from the canal, and she suppresses a shudder when a droplet hits her. This is great details. Like, she is definitely a high-class lady and is not excited to be in this space. Her sharp nails click the pitted wood of the table. I'm going to say of the table. Each tap a warning. You're late. Where's the manuscript? I wonder if you could even move this here. With a wink, he pats something under the table, speaking in a Greek accent thickened by drink. Buy me some wine first. His foot jiggles, and a tick twitches his cheek, letting her sense fear beneath his bravado. You don't have it, do you? She says, trying to keep her voice steady. You summoned me to this wretched place on feast day for nothing? All right. So I feel like with a little bit of finessing. I mean, I love the setup, right? We've got this fancy lady in a dirty tavern waiting for someone to bring the book. We don't know what the book is yet, but that's exactly the kind of question that you want a first page to pose. So what this first page does really well is it puts us in a specific place, right? She's in this tavern. She doesn't want to be there. It's a specific time. We don't really know what time it is yet, but this doesn't jump around a lot. Like, it stays in this one scene. I wonder if there's some opportunity to tell us, like, is it night? Is it midday? I'm presuming it's not morning since everyone's kind of drunk and at this evening's festivities. Oh, you say evening. That's right there. Never mind. Okay, so it is evening. So it's a specific time. It's a specific place. We've got this one specific person, which it would be nice to get a name, but we know that they are feeling very much out of place, but they need to be there for some reason. And then it poses this question of the book. Why would this fancy lady be pulled down into this terrible place waiting for this swine of a man to deliver the book? It must be very important. So I'm intrigued. I would definitely want to know. I'm curious enough to keep reading. Just be sure to kind of, give us the details that we need for the scene to kind of land. So let's start again at the top. She's never worn patience well. The heavy wool of her cloak chafes at her skin as she pulls it close, waiting for that cursed scribe to deliver the book. So you're showing her impatience, waiting for that cursed scribe. She's pulling the cloak. She doesn't want to be here. The scent of soured wine and sweat cloy the air. Sentence here about the tavern. I'll just put that in brackets. But setting the scene a little bit. And not a lot, like one sentence, right? From the darkest corner of the room, her view of the entrance is obscured by a crowd of revelers masked for the evening's festivities, but she notices when a hush slides across the room as the front door opens and closes. Laughter swells to fill the space, too loud and close. Panic prickles beneath her fraying temper. Above her, the soot-blackened beams writhe in the flicker of the tallow candle guttering at her elbow. Every mask seems to tilt toward her, and she pulls her cloak tighter still to conceal the gold brocade gleaming beneath, lowering the hood over her famous face. Finally, the scribe slinks into the seat opposite, his velvet cap askew. He grins, shaking his damp hair loose like a hound emerging from the canal, and she suppresses a shudder when a droplet hits her. "You're late. Where's the manuscript?" Her sharp nails click against the pitted wood of the table, each tap a warning. With a wink, he pats something under the table, speaking in a Greek accent thickened by drink. "Buy me some wine first." His foot jiggles, and a tick twitches his cheek, letting her sense fear. Instead of letting her, I wonder if you could say she senses fear beneath his bravado. "You don't have it, do you?" she says, trying to keep her voice steady. "You summoned me to this wretched place on a feast day for nothing." All right, I feel like that's landing pretty good. So just looking for a few opportunities. I feel like, again, we get a good sense of her, but I don't know why you'd hold back on her name. Maybe there's a good reason. If there's not a good reason, give us her name. And then if there's any way to hint at anything else about this woman, like is she old or young? Her famous face would imply probably beautiful. I don't know if that's just an assumption, but I wonder if instead of, if you could say lowering the hood to cover the, like, let's say she's famous. Maybe she's like a famous outlaw and she has a scar or something, right? So lowering the hood to cover the scar that would reveal her identity to the crowd. Like, is there something you can give us about this famous face? Does she have really high cheekbones, her really beautiful blue eyes? Or this may not be the place for it, but just consider where you might be able to drop in a hint or two about this one, again, presuming she is our main character and we do want to get to know her a little bit. But other than that, I feel like this is an intriguing first page. So I hope these suggestions were helpful. Thank you to the author who sent in your page. If this was not your page and you would like to send yours in, check out the link below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next Friday.